Today I read in the news about, I guess it happened a couple of days ago. A mom in the United States woke up and heard an intruder, or she thought it was an intruder in her house. So she grabbed her loaded gun, which was right by her bed, and shot what she thought was an intruder. It actually ended up, it was her daughter, her 27-year-old daughter, who was just returning home. Well, I've heard a good few stories about this, and it's been going on for years, and I really like Michael Moore. He talks about how ridiculous it is. He says there's more guns in Canada. I'm not really sure about that. Like, there are a lot of hunters, but we have strict laws that if you have guns, they're not to be loaded. Like, you put the cartridge in another part of the house and lock up both, I think. And I tell some of my American friends that, and they're like, well, what happens if there's an intruder or somebody's hurting you? I'm like, well, oh well, we don't assume they're gonna have a gun here, fortunately, but we have guns maybe so we could go hunt or something like that. And we don't think of guns as killing people, more as, kill dinner or something like that. And it's not a big, well, actually I've heard that some people in Canada who are trained in firearms still think it's a big ego trip, but we have a bunch of laws that keep us supposedly safe. There's been a bunch of shootings in my city, Ottawa, the capital, in the last month, and those all seem to be gang related. Gangs can get their guns, they can come across the border from the States. They don't check every car. And I was posting this story on Facebook, and my bestie was like, that's hilarious. And actually, I almost laughed when I heard that she killed her daughter. Like, to us, having a loaded gun under the bed is, you're asking for trouble. And why would you do that? Personally, I think that if somebody broke into my house in the middle of the night, I would stay in bed and I would be so petrified I wouldn't move. That could be because if I wake up in a bad dream, I can't move, I just stay there. I certainly wouldn't jump out of bed. Anyway, and I know I say a lot, sorry. So, a couple of friends, after me and Carrie were saying, that's funny, that's insane, that's whatever, they were like, oh, that's so sad, and, maybe Carrie and I watch too much true crime. And that's possible. So, I don't know, but what can you do, right? Because I kind of feel like, I feel really stressed out. I can't even imagine living in a society where you'd want that. And I know people in the States who don't have guns and are fine with it and say, no, I don't see guns around and that sort of thing. And okay, so that's great, but there are not enough of you. So, kind of thing. But really, I just think it's sad that people think that way, because if you fight violence with violence, I'd rather die and go to heaven than to feel like I had to shoot someone and to feel guilt for the rest of my life. Because if I hurt someone, even if they were the bad guy, I would probably feel guilty because, most people had good in them, or did at one point. Psychopaths are probably born good, but something changes them along the way in their childhood, probably. So that's just my opinion. Michael Moore, he rules.